At 10, first, the highlight. Lagos State Drivers Institute commences training, recertification of school bus drivers. Standards Organization of Nigeria reads riot act to building materials counterfeiters. On the foreign scene, polio vaccination begins in Gaza as United Nations targets over 600,000 children. And in sport, Napoli club manager gives update on Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. As part of the efforts to improve safety and ensure sanity on the roads, the Lagos State Drivers Institute, LASDRI, has commenced training and recertification exercises for school bus drivers operating in the state. Welcoming the first batch of trainees, General Manager of LASDRI, Afusat Tiamiu, said the significance of the training and recertification of school bus drivers cannot be overstated, as it plays a crucial role in protecting the lives of students entrusted to the drivers and staff. Tiamiu said it is essential to address the most prevalent hazard that school bus drivers and staff may encounter on the road, and understanding of these hazards allow for better preparation and proactive measures to mitigate risks. She listed these risks to include weather conditions, traffic congestion, student behavior, mechanical failure, road condition, and others. The general manager of LASDRI pointed out that investing in safety training for school bus drivers is not a one-time event, but it should be an ongoing process with regular updates and refresher courses to keep them informed about the latest safety practices and regulations. The Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASUBEB, in partnership with the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, WAPA, has concluded the second phase of the skill acquisition training for parents and guardians of out-of-school children enrolled into public primary schools in the state. LASUBEB Executive Chairman Hakim Shitu, who highlighted that a total of 450 parents had benefited from the program, noted that the program aims to empower families, enhance their livelihoods, and promote consistent school attendance, thereby tackling the escalating number of out-of-school children. Shitu pointed that the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is steadfast in its mission to reduce the number of school-aged children not attending school, while emphasizing the board's commitment to fostering a supportive environment that underscores the significance of education. The training covered various skills, including hair and wig making, event decoration and management, fabric stoning and embellishment, snacks and beverage production, soap and pomade making, throw pillow and duvet creation, Ankara crafts, leather works, as well as makeup and gele tying. The Lagos State Office for Disability Affairs, LASODA, has hosted over 150 children with special needs, caregivers, and owners of homes in an atmosphere of fun to celebrate the uniqueness of the children and encourage their continued growth and inclusion. Speaking at the event, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tertiary Education, Adiniro Kasali, expressed gratitude to the caregivers and parents for not isolating their children with special needs out of fear of discrimination. He emphasized that keeping these children at home limits their access to valuable privileges and socialization opportunities, which are crucial for their mental and intellectual development. On her part, General Manager of LASODA, Adenike Oyetunde Lawal, emphasized the importance of supporting children with special needs, ensuring they are included and empowered in the community. She highlighted the state government's efforts in promoting the rights and well-being of people living with disabilities, noting that the program is a step towards fostering a more inclusive society. The Defense Headquarters, DHQ, has deployed troops, drones, and other equipment to Kenji Lake National Park to eliminate any potential terrorist presence in the area. The DHQ also reported that operatives have thoroughly combed the entire area over the past 6 weeks in search of terrorists suspected to be hiding in the park. This followed a report by the Klingendal Institute, a Dutch think tank, in June, stating that there was ample evidence that Islamist terrorists from the Sahel region had crossed into Nigeria through the Benin Republic border. The jihad fighters were said to have settled in Kebbi State at the Kenji National Park and turned the facility into their base. Director of Defense Media Operations, Edward Buba, stated that during the operations carried out over the past 6 weeks, troops did not encounter any terrorists said to be hiding in the park. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested 48 suspected internet fraudsters in Umudike, Abia State. In a statement by the head of media and publicity, EFCC, Dele Agadumo, operatives of the Uyo Zonal Directorate of the Anti-Corruption Agency carried out the operation based on intelligence information gathered. The statement said they were arrested on Friday, August 30, at different locations within Umudike following actionable intelligence on their suspected involvement in internet fraud. It added that the suspects would be charged to court as soon as investigations were concluded. And now to the rest of the stories. The Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, has made strident calls for the imposition of severe punitive measures to serve as deterrent to persons responsible for the rapidity of incidents of building collapse across the country. Director General of SON, Ifeanyi Okeke, who made this call during a stakeholders engagement program in Lagos, said investigations showed that the cause of incessant building collapse was attributed to poor structural designs, quackery and unprofessionalism, and inadequate or lack of soil testing. Okeke lamented that such poor construction practices and procedures remain the bane of the construction industry. Ebonyi State Governor Francis Nwifuru has approved the payment of 70,000 naira minimum wage to civil servants under the employ of the state. Nwifuru announced this at the grand finale of the Ojijizi New Yam Festival, saying he has directed relevant government authorities to draft out modalities for the payment of the new minimum wage commencing in September. The governor, who also frowned at the lackadaisical manner by which government projects awarded as contracts to prominent leaders of the state were handled, called on residents of the state not to hesitate to report government projects being delayed by contractors. Now to foreign news. Thousands have been queuing in Gaza as a massive polio vaccination campaign for children under the age of 10 is underway. The rollout relies on a series of localized pauses in fighting, with each humanitarian window lasting between 6 a.m. and 3 p.m. local time. The campaign comes after a Palestinian baby contracted the disease, the first case in Gaza in 25 years. The United Nations World Health Organization says it aims to vaccinate 640,000 children. Now, sports. Napoli sporting director Giovanni Manna says it was Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen's decision not to play for the club again. This is after the Nigeria international was excluded from Napoli's Serie A squad and also stripped of the number 9 shirt. Manna said there was also the issue of an offer the club thought had been concluded, but then it did not go through with the striker. He also commented on the possibility of Osimhen joining another Saudi club, noting the transfer market is still open. Manna added that there are many options, but he does not think the Nigerian will go to Saudi Arabia in this transfer session. That ends our news at 10. Just before we go, your vehicle is not a strong room. Please keep your valuables off the view of miscreants. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration under the Sanwo-Olu administration, Loma launched the Lagos State Blue Box Recycling Initiative? Getting more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of the major stories. As part of the efforts to improve safety and ensure sanity on the roads, the Lagos State Drivers Institute, LASDRI, has commenced training and recertification exercises for school bus drivers operating in the state. The Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, has made strident calls for the imposition of severe punitive measures to serve as deterrent to persons responsible for the rapidity of incidents of building collapse across the country. Also told you that thousands have begun queuing in Gaza as a massive polio vaccination campaign for children under the age of 10 is underway. And in sport, Napoli sporting director Giovanni Manna said it was Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen's decision not to play for the club again. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. The next news broadcast compiled by Adewale Oluworoku. I am Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for listening.